Hi.
Hi.
It's been like, I don't know, like 3 months probably, maybe around 3 months since we met in person.
Yeah, it was at that festival
This ain't
in LA.
no picnic.
Yeah, in Pasadena. It was really, really nice to meet you after, especially the guys just heard me talk about your band for a year straight. And
No way.
to finally be like, this is them was so nice. It was just so great to see you all.
I think, we looked out after you were gone. You
Really?
probably knew.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't. I
it was
didn't know.
intense.
So I have some questions there's a few things that I want to know about Wet Leg and each of you personally too. But genuinely, I am a fan and I'm so interested because it seems like you guys, the energy that you have is that you've like grown up together, and I have that with my band. So maybe that's part of the kinship that I feel. I want to know like how you met. I haven't read anything, so maybe you're sick of telling that story, but I would love to know if you don't mind.
Not at all. So, yeah, we met when we were like, I guess 16 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
It's like college, like sixth form. And we'd both enrolled on like this music course. And we were all at college together. It was like you and me and Ellis and Joshua, but not Henry. We met him later on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is really nice, like meeting when you're that young, because it's always like when you're doing something really crazy, you can all be like, dudes, like imagine if like we went back to college now and we like told our younger selves that we'd all be here together right now doing this. And it's just like it's definitely like a really special thing to be able to share that with like people that have like come from like the same place as you, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely adds like a real layer of like, I don't know, I just feel really proud, I guess, of like, because we're friends and like, yeah, Ellis, I always thought was like the raddest guitar player ever. And I was just like, oh man, it'd be sick to be able to play music with Ellis, but I'm just not cool enough. And then here we are.
Well, that's the thing. I think we were all so scared of each other in college, or like asking each other to be in a band, that like we just didn't do it. And so like it wasn't until like I guess like 3 or 4 years ago, 2000. When did we start the band?
2019. Well, 2018.
End of 2018. I think we were like brave enough to ask each other to start. So we'd known each other for ages, and then it was like ages before we like conjured up like the guts,
courage. Yeah. But I think it's rad that the foundation was set already. I know that feeling that you're talking about. Like when I met the guys, feeling really nervous because like they were the coolest people to me and they played music that I loved. I was like, how do I? At one point, like they already had a singer, and I thought, well, I can play bass. I've never played bass in my life at that point. And I was like, I could do it and figure it out, But it's so sick that you all stayed connected. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like a band gives you so much reason for staying connected to somebody. And so now at this point, like you're infinitely connected because you've started this mission together that probably started way before you ever wrote a song, Yeah,
and it is true that we are kind of like, it's funny how it takes your friendship from like being a regular friendship, which is obviously like very, very valuable anyway, and then like warps it into this new kind of like, I'd say it's like close to having like sisters and brothers. Like that sounds really weird and incestuous.
No, it's great. I think that's probably what you're saying is why I joined a band, because I just really needed to be part of something where someone was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great. I read that.
That's part of it.
I read that you guys like to roller skate.
Yeah.
Is that
We
real?
haven't had... Yeah, well, in lockdown, like in lockdown when everyone was like, oh, I'm just going to take up this hobby and this hobby.
Right.
And so that was like, for us, it was like band and roller skating. And also like we got these massive longboards and tried our turn at longboard dancing. And Hester's really good at painting and painted like a million trillion mountainscapes.
Did a lot in there.
Yeah.
A lot of hobbies.
That's
but now
so
Hester's
good.
got really into crochet and has started teaching me how to crochet.
Yes. Please tell me how to do that. Like how to sit still long enough to make something like that.
Yeah. It's like, it gets a bit intense because once you start, it's hard to stop.
Right.
It's just like, it's not going to crochet itself. So you have to like, but you're like, I really want this like cute thing at the end of it. Yeah.
You just keep going.
I mean, I don't know if I've got like a cute thing at the end of it. I'm not quite there yet. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's going to be great.
But you just made a hat very similar to this one.
Oh.
Baby size.
For a baby. For Christmas baby.
That's really cool. Well, I just wanted to know because I love to roller skate. It's something that it's a little bit of a hidden talent for me. And I feel like everyone either like skateboards or like I just don't meet a lot of people that love roller skating. So I'm trying to find my derby team, essentially. I'm trying to like,
oh my gosh, pick us.
I will.
Roller derby. I feel like the last time that we got to go roller skating together was Columbus, Ohio, when there was like this Arnold Schwarzenegger like wrestling convention happening, bodybuilding happening in the venue that we were playing. And then we put on the skates and we like skated down the street to this multi-story car park, and we like took the lift up to the top and then like skating down around.
That was really fun.
It was a nice time.
It was like being on a ski slope.
Oh, yeah.
Concrete ski slope.
Would recommend multi-story car parks.
I love those.
Skating.
Love those. I used to hang out in those quite a lot as a teenager.
I would try to, but there's that one in Newport above the co-op that like you try and hang out in, but they have security, so they always check you out.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go to the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like a good viewpoint.
And it's like above the shop, so you get snacks on the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd always get kicked out for being
It's
a kid.
so true. It's so true. It's so sad.
We were just enjoying the view.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to roller skate anytime. I feel like that would be so fun to get a bunch of friends from, especially bands that you tour with that like you don't see in those scenarios very often. That's what I want. I would like an awkward skate party.
That would be so fun.
When are you guys going home? Are you like almost done?
Yeah. 17th of December is our last gig in New York.
Oh my God. Like, think about the last year of your life has been so crazy. I mean, it really has. Like, you were in my, one of those like Spotify, like Discover playlists. And it's so sick that you've done it your own way and you're seeing so much of the world and you're playing shows with amazing artists. Like, you're doing a lot of cool shit, but you've just done it in such a beautiful, unique, and actually genuine way. And I couldn't be more stoked to witness it because it's so hopeful. You know, it's like, it makes me so excited that this is still happening. Like, bands are still coming up, and it's like, I don't know, you're really fucking doing it, and it's so amazing to watch. And I know next year is going to be even crazier. You're up for all these Grammy awards. Like, it's just, I'm so happy for you. There's not a question. I'm just kind of musing to you.
That's really nice.
I don't know. This is weird for me to talk about because I'm a really big fan. So I don't really, I'm getting like a hot as well. Like, so.
It's really nice.
It is really nice.
Long story short, I love Paramore. You are a really inspirational human to me. Sorry, I feel so weird. How do I not be so weird about this?
No, you're not even weird.
I came across your music, Hayley. It's probably like 13 or 14.
Wow.
I bought Kerrang like every week for like a few years.
Yeah.
And so you've just always been there for me.
Oh, man.
And especially, I think, After Laughter, I don't know, that album in particular, even though like I was much older, because like it was like your most recent album.
Yeah.
It was at like a particular time in my life. And just, oh God, you're going to have to cut all this out because I can't talk about it.
It's so nice.
But yeah, thank you for the music. That's what I want to say. And I'm really excited. I listened to This Is Why, the whole thing, 2 times today. And I don't know if you can put this in the interview, but yeah, I really love it.
Thank you.
I'm really excited.
That is so special to me and means so much. And it's crazy to imagine the fact that now we get to cross paths is like, sorry, my dog is, there's Alf just ruining the couch. Alfred.
Oh.
He's such a goober. But anyway, all that to say, it means a lot to me. It's totally fine that you feel awkward about it, because to me it's just so cool and so sweet and magical, you know, that you can't force that stuff to happen. But I feel like, you know, when you get older, discovering music is such a different exercise than it was when you're, you know, as a teenager. I just feel like your capacity is totally different. And I don't know if you guys ever go through this, but I'll go through phases where I feel like I'm not discovering things for a little while. And I almost feel like, is it me? Is it like just, you know, am I getting older? But this past year has been really exciting. There's been a lot of really great music coming out. But when Chaise Long was on, like it was some Spotify playlist that got like curated for my, like, you know, the algorithm and shit. But it was the top track on it. So it was the first thing that I heard on the way to the studio. Probably like the first day that we were headed to the studio to demo for the record. And I got out of the car and the guys were like smoking on the porch. And I was like, you have to hear this. I can't believe what I just heard. It's so cool and special. And everyone was just really into it. And I just, I don't know. I was so grateful. I was like, oh, I still love music. I still get that feeling, you know. It didn't die.
That feeling.
It's the same thing that made you want to get into it in the first place, you know, like to be a part of it and do it. That's how I felt when I heard that song.
That's
so
really cool.
Strange. This is so strange. I remember when Rianne was like, oh, you'll never guess who's like slid into the DMs on Instagram. And then, yeah, you like sent a screenshot and like all of like me and the boys were just like a bit like
so funny,
upside down for the rest of the day.
Thank you for sending that message. That's really nice because like you obviously can just like think like, oh, that's a cool song, and then like to go out of your way to like send a message to be like, hey, like I like what you're doing, like keep it up.
You're welcome. That's good to hear. I'm that feeling, Hester, that you were talking about earlier when you met people that you would eventually be in a band with, but you were like, I'm not cool enough. Like that thing I had in school, and it's like I started touring while we were still in school, so I'm like perpetually a 16-year-old somewhere, and I like keep really trying to mature and grow older, but there's always going to be like this socially, like this part of me that I have to overcome. And that I just don't write a lot of artists. I don't talk to a ton of artists, and I think it's because of that feeling like, oh, I don't know. Like, we're just like Paramore. We just feel like we're a bunch of like little emo nerds that, you know, are weird and whatever. But I have no idea why I got brave enough to DM you guys like a cold call, but I'm super stoked that I did. I don't know if I was high. I don't know what happened, but I was like, oh, thank God they don't think I'm a loser. When you guys wrote back, I was like, oh, okay, all right, fine. I can do this. I can I can send a DM.
That's so funny.
Man, Misery Business has been such a journey. Like, you know what it's like when you're a teenager and you're writing some of your first songs. Like, you're not really, even after we had an album out, like our first album, I think we wrote Misery Business while we were touring All We Know Is Falling. Like, I don't know that it had all fully set in that we were really doing this. So that was like a diary entry, and it was a rough day at school, basically. And for it to turn into what it's turned into is, I mean, lyrically not rad. It has not grown up with me. You know, I grew out of it almost immediately. But I might turn this around too and ask you this same question. For me, I'm always fascinated by how songs begin, what they're about, and like what you feel when you're writing them or recording them. And then when you get on stage, especially after like a year of performing those songs, they start to mean something completely different. Or even if they don't mean something different, you recognize that it means something entirely different to other people. And that's ultimately why we brought the song back to our set. It's like a moment where our fans, like one of them will come up on stage and sing with us. And that's kind of what the song's about to me now. I don't even think about the like think pieces about feminism or misogyny anymore. I kind of just think like, oh, this is the song where everybody goes off and like remembers that they had a MySpace once, you know? I know that you've been touring a lot and you put this album out. And it's kind of like, this has been your first real journey, like publicly with your music, but has anything changed its meaning to you at all? Like, have any of the songs morphed and become bigger than what you were thinking about when you wrote them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, one that we have in our set, I Don't Want to Go Out.
Yeah.
It's funny how it's morphed from kind of like being about being kind of like 27 at parties and like not really knowing where you're headed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the lyrics are like, it used to be so fun, and now everything just feels dumb. I wish I could care. I don't know how to say this without it sounding, I don't know, like I'm not like thankful for like the position that we're in, because of course I am, and it's really great. But like the amount that we have been touring, you know, like we started the band because like with the mission to like have fun all the time. And like the reality of being in a band that's really busy and has a lot going for it is that sometimes it is like Groundhog Day, and you'll repeat the same day, and then like things start to like lose or like change their meaning. Mm-hmm. And I think that has been like part of the learning curve for us, is about like not letting go of the wheel, and like staying in control. And so I think like I Don't Want to Go Out, where it used to be about sitting back and like letting life happen and like not really knowing where you're headed, like in terms of like your career. I guess now that we are like fully in this career, as it were, like I don't know, it feels strange calling like music a career or like a job or whatever, because it like, of course, like primarily it is like it started out as a hobby, and it is still very much that But it's funny how it's morphed from being like, oh my God, I'm like 27 and I have no idea where I'm headed. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Like, I'm getting older and like, but my habits are staying the same. It's morphed kind of like from that to kind of like staying present in the music and not letting all of these really great things like wash over us, because we are so busy and it is hard to take things in sometimes. And I think for us, like when we do have something really good that happens to us, I think often it's like our friends or like my housemates or our families that will like get in touch and be like, hey, this really cool thing's happened to you. And then we're like, oh yeah, that really cool thing has happened to us. And like when you're in a car that's like kind of moving so fast, you don't always take everything in. And so now that song is in our set, To Be Present, I kind of like look at it in like a different way. It is really interesting how songs change.
Yeah, I think touring and playing them for people, because every person that's coming to see you, it's like you have no clue where they're coming from. You know, you don't know if like they just left their house and like shit's a mess there, like relationship wise, or you know, someone's left their job that they hate and they've come straight to your show. Like you can never know. And that's kind of also the beautiful thing, because you just meet people where they're at. And I feel like that's the thing that morphs all of these songs that we create in one little moment. It like morphs it into this like living, breathing, fluid thing that will probably that song, you know, over the course of the next however many years will change again and again. I've noticed that with a lot of our stuff. And I think that fact alone helps me to stay present to it, because it kind of keeps me on my toes, you know. But I feel like that's so rad. And I know exactly what you mean when you say it feels weird to call it a career. It feels weird to almost like accept how ridiculous and wild the ride is. But I mean, man, like if you are able to do what you want in terms of staying present and keeping control, you'll be able to feel that kind of disbelief and awe, like be in awe of it, you know, for as long as you want. And I've had like moments where we were the most successful that we had ever been at a certain time. Like let's say like around when Ain't It Fun was a song on the radio. We were so miserable personally, you know, like we weren't like taking care of ourselves. We weren't actually being present. We were just kind of saying yes blindly. And it was definitely life was happening to us, not with us or alongside us, you know? So I feel like that's like some inner wisdom that you're talking about that's already guiding you. And it's so fucking important. It's so important for your friendships. It's so important for your career. Like we were just on this tour and we were singing a song from Brand New Eyes called Misguided Ghost. And there's like a couple nights where I actually really paid attention to what I was saying, like what the words were. And I was like, oh my God, like over a decade ago, the guys and I, you know, we weren't getting along. We were playing like shows that we should have been the most excited for. And we all kind of knew that something was about to happen and we weren't really sure what that was. And I felt like I was going through a change that I couldn't explain to myself or to anyone else. And all of it happened. I guess it was meant to happen, because in some way we ended up back together playing these shows this fall. And it was amazing to feel that the presence of like really accepting the moment and really accepting that, you know, it's happening to us, but we're here for it and we're not resisting it. We're experiencing it. And that's hard to do. Like that's very hard to do, especially when you're on the ride that you guys are on right now, which just started. It's so fucking easy to just be like, and like the roller coaster begins and it's over before. And I don't mean it's over in the sense that your career's over, but I mean like some of the best, most exciting moments can come and go and like you don't feel them. So I don't know. Hopefully, if I can do anything, I want to encourage you to like feel every dreadful or incredible second, because it's so fucking cool what you're doing. Like your relationships are or the foundation, but what you're creating together is like it's expansive, and you have no idea who it's reaching or how it's reaching them, but it is. And it's like it makes an impact, you know, like it's like a butterfly effect kind of thing.
Yeah, it is really shocking. I think we've spent like we like clocked it up, and it's been like we spent 4 months in the States, and we've also been to like Australia and New Zealand, and it's just so wild to us that like people are like connecting with our band. It's a bit much to think about.
yeah, I feel that.
So it's good to feel things, but sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't it kind of like, you know, the feeling of like good things are happening to you, so you feel like you're not allowed to be like, oh, I'm really fucking sad today, or I'm just wishing I was anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
That's hard. That's so hard, because a lot of people can't fathom that it might ever feel like a job, you know?
Yeah. It is a funny feeling, battling with like your validation of sadness.
Yeah.
It's a really funny one, like not allowing yourself to like have a down day or be sad or...
Because even like you tell yourself off in your head.
Yeah.
You're like, no, grateful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am.
And then you get more
also,
sad.
like,
Because you're like, I'm a bad person. I'm so bad.
I know that feeling so well.
You just go around in circles.
Just today, we're still getting ready as the albums, you know, we're like building up to February, and we just got home. I was so tired today for some reason, and it's also like it's gray and cold in the best possible way. Like we just left living in LA for the year, and which was a drought and a fucking heat wave for 6 months. So I'm loving being home and being cozy and like just having all the like comfort, like 10 blankets and my dog and just all of it. And today we had to do like 2 sort of spontaneous meetings, and then I got like a big schedule for next week, and I was like, fuck. It's like I just need someone to like leave me alone. And then once I got into it and we like started talking to our manager and to our team, I was like, oh, right, this is actually fucking cool. But sometimes you just need a moment to like express that you're frustrated or express that you're really tired. And, you know, I don't know. Sometimes for me, I just need the like 5-second pity party, and I still might be sad. Like I struggle with depression, so I feel that. Yeah. But having a purpose and a mission is so helpful, because it gives me something to like channel the energy into.
I think for us, one of like the hardest or like most irritating things about being women is probably just like stupid comments on the internet, like, oh, she's holding that guitar, but she's not actually playing it. Like when, for example, I am like just not using my guitar, and then like I need to play it in the chorus or something, there will like always be a comment being like, girls shouldn't play guitar, women shouldn't play guitar. And it's just like, it's so dated, this like, but it's still there. And I just hate it so much, and it's so frustrating. And I just wish like Sam, session guitarist 54, would just shut up.
I hope that he listens to this. I know those people so well, and I don't even play guitar on stage. I don't even dare, because I love to play guitar, but I don't know if I could handle, man, I feel you. I feel you so hard. I really loved reading one of Sloppy Jane's tweets. It was a while ago, but it was something to that effect. Like, there will be no equality in music until women can play mediocre rock music and be heralded for it in the way that some of these other bands throughout history have done. And like, I don't know. I just hate that people even need to point it out, because maybe I don't want to like get off on a tangent, but I don't really think about my gender at all when we play music, especially. Like, I just don't, it's not part of the picture. I'm trying to lean into femininity and empower that part of myself more in this era of my career. But do you ever get on stage and you just feel other? Like, you just kind of feel like this alien thing that's powerful and beautiful? And you do?
Before you said powerful and beautiful, I was like, no, I do feel like an alien.
Yes. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be beautiful.
Yeah. It's a scary thing to be confronted with.
Yeah.
It's like, because when it's just us, like being ourselves in a room, I'm not thinking about it really at all.
Yeah.
But kind of as soon as you have like
a
gig and
You're
the audience
presenting.
and like, yeah, you can become a bit hyper aware.
It's
aware of how people are going to perceive you.
Yes.
And feed into that imposter syndrome.
I feel that. I was saying to Taylor not too long ago, like I made a record, kind of during lockdown, where I was like, I had already put out a solo album which Taylor produced, and it was very experimental.
Petals for Armor.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah, I love the tiny desk that you did for it as well. It's really cool.
Thank you. Well, and that's actually to the point too, because when I made the second solo record just kind of by myself, and I had a friend engineer it for me, I played all that stuff and I felt so free to do it because no one was watching. I was just at home and I felt really creative, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm like kind of nailing right now. But like if there had been anyone else in the room, I mean, maybe my bandmates would have been fine, but if there had been anyone else in the room, I don't think that I would have thought too much about it, and I wouldn't have been able to write those parts and certainly not execute them because of that thing you're saying. Like, as soon as you're confronted with, as soon as you're aware that someone's perceiving you and someone's gonna probably say some shit just because they love to hear their own voice, it kind of scares me back into myself. But Tiny Desk was like I was shaking to play. What little guitar I played for that, I was like, oh God, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna see those comments, but oh well, fuck it.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It sucks
that you even have that thought to push down. Like, it's unfair.
Yeah, especially when you're doing something that is really exciting, and you write in a clever way that's very personal, and there's humor, and the melodies are amazing, whether it's like melodies you're singing or melodies that you're playing. And there's a reason that people like caught on to it, right? Like, there's a reason that Chaise Long went viral, and it's not because, like, I don't care what anyone says. It's not because you're females. It's not because you dress cool. It's because it's a really fucking good song, and that's what makes people attached to artists, and all the other stuff is like decoration, and it's this beautiful like bonus to it. But it's insane that we're talking about this, and like you're talking about these comments, because if any of those guys could have done it, they would have done it. They would have made Chaise Long, and they would have made music that sounds like that, and maybe I would be talking to them right now. I don't know, but like, you're fucking talented. It's not a gimmick. And what's the worst is when you see like, the band the Linda Lindas. Like,
we've
met them a couple of times.
They were at that festival too.
And
yeah,
Primavera.
Yeah,
man, they're so cool.
They're really cool.
They
are. Make like all of their own clothes as well. Do you see? Do you see any boy bands doing? Not to like start a gender war, because like gender is just like getting more and more irrelevant anyway, hopefully.
True.
But just to pick them up.
Yeah, so sick. I feel like I'm ready for the comments that you're talking about, and like anytime there's a young female, you just 100% of the time there's going to be at least one comment where someone's like, oh, this is an industry plant. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. I mean, like, it's like Josie and the Pussycats, I guess, but like as if women haven't been making incredible music for all time. And like you said, the gender aspect of it shouldn't be relevant, especially anymore. In terms of what I've experienced, I wish that it would have changed even more, but I can say that there's something in my experience that I register as like improvement. And I don't know if I can put a finger on it, but it's definitely, I don't know, like at 16, people would say the craziest shit from the crowd, like at me. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm like, do you know what you're exposing in yourself when you like yell this shit at a minor? Like, that's so weird, you know? And I'm sure that stuff probably still happens at shows, but my experience has always been like, speak out when I feel it, when I need to, but for the most part, like, just do the thing that I love to do, keep my head down and fucking like drive through all of that noise. And I think ultimately, like, it's not even the success that is the gratifying part. It's the proving to myself over and over again that we're still here, we're still doing shit, we're still making stuff that we love, and none of that noise ever actually mattered. It actually never defined any of it.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, you know, like having your music and having it like inspire like younger generations of like young women or non-binary, like that is like way more powerful than any kind of like annoyance that like you're having to push through.
Yeah.
What is next for Wet Leg, HC?
Well, we have some shows taken us through. We've got some dates in New York. Really excited to play. And then honestly, really looking forward to sleeping in my bed and being around my things for a couple of weeks at Christmas.
I'm so happy that you guys get to go back home and like kind of get grounded for a minute before what will inevitably be another great year. Like I'm stoked to see what other music you create too after this record. That's so exciting. But I mean, for me, we're gonna be home this month, but as soon as January starts, we're making videos again. We're planning a release event, and this is why we'll come out February 10th. So I'm
exciting.
Yeah, I can't. Every time we make another record, I just don't know how it happened, and I'm so grateful, man. Like, I just feel I don't know how it happens. I really don't, but I can't wait to play it live, you know? Like, this was such a tease playing these shows that we did because we only got to play one new song. So it's kind of like we were like wearing an old sweater again back out there, but very excited to put some new sweaters on and like see what that turns into, see like what the songs become when they're in a different setting. I feel grateful too because we were all home for so long. COVID obviously didn't help with that, but being able to be back out in the world, and I was so afraid to get back out in the world, but doing things like this, meeting people that are inspiring or people that we just come across because we play music, it's so nice. It's like it heals like an inner child part of me that always felt a little bit alien, like I needed to get out and find my people. So I'm super pumped to know y'all and very excited that we connected on DMs, you know. Who would have thought?
So nice. It's also really cool to hear that you don't know how albums happen, because that's definitely our experience with the first one.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
We're like, how are we gonna do it? It will happen.
It will happen. Holy moly. I'm like,
I love White sometime. I really want to see where you come from and experience that, because we've only ever heard I Love White is like, in my brain, all I picture is Labyrinth with David Bowie. It feels otherworldly to me because we've always heard of it.
We'll give you the tour.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Can't wait. I'm so ready for that. Well, y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for chatting to us.
Yeah, of
It's been
course.
really nice.